Two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio. LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, Jonas Knox with you here. You can listen to us as always on the iHeartRadio app, where you can stream us wherever you happen to be. So catch us in all of our Fox Sports Radio shows live 24/7 in the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Just search Fox Sports Radio in the app to stream us live all day, every day. And be sure to select Fox Sports Radio as one of your presets in the iHeart app, so it will always pop up at the top of your screen. We will get back into the NFL conversation of another type coming up top of next hour. But I mean, Brady, what's your problem with the Colts, man? Like, what's the issue here? I mean, Riley Leonard goes out and he's slinging it around a little bit.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll ask you guys, because my observation was Riley goes out there and plays phenomenal, and I'm like, all right, why didn't? I mean, he played well enough to get them a win. They scored 30 points. I kind of watched it, just go, why did you just let him play? Why did you need to bring back Phillip Rivers? Like, the deep balls, his ability to run and create and make plays with his legs. Like, I'm not trying to be critical of the Phillip Rivers play necessarily, but why did they feel like they needed to go with him? Like, Riley Leonard was a draft pick that you made, and you could have gotten a better idea of what he's capable of doing. Instead of one game, you could have had a much greater sample size, and maybe he would have won you some of those games.
They were still trying to make the playoffs when they brought him in, right?
Rivers, yeah. And it's like
chances were slim at that point.
Okay, I look at this.
I said that when they were talking about bringing him in. Why are you bringing him in? I said the same thing. But if you're saying it retrospectively, like, all right, seeing what he did.
It's like after watching, because the logical thought is they didn't feel like the rookie was ready. Maybe they don't want him. They don't feel like he gives them the best chance to win. Then you go back and watch that and go, wait a second.
He looked really
He
good,
looks
man.
great.
Yeah.
What are we doing over here?
And it wasn't like he was just dinking and dunking. He was slinging it too.
No, he was throwing downfield.
I mean,
and by the way, like, Rivers couldn't do that.
Wouldn't you think that Irsay would have saw that, noticed that if she was standing on the sideline taking notes during practice?
This is the problem. Like you're talking about this in terms of a normal, all the way there organization. The Colts do weird stuff, man, and they have for years. Like the Jeff Saturday, the quarterback carousel. Like it's a weird run organization, and it appears it still is.
Okay. Well, I mean, the Rivers stuff was fun. It really was. I feel like
so was the Jeff Saturday stuff. It was fun too.
You always got to bring it up, dude. Yeah. Let it go, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Jeff Saturday.
Well, it's Tuesday. It's our Hey, it's Jonas Knox, and owning a home is amazing until it's not. 1 minute you're sipping coffee, the next you're ankle deep in water from a burst pipe. Repairs don't care about timing or your budget. That's where HomeServe comes in. Regular homeowners insurance usually doesn't cover a lot of day-to-day wear and tear, plumbing failures, HVAC breakdowns, electrical issues. You're often on your own for those. HomeServe is like a subscription for the systems in your home. It's super simple. You choose a plan that fits the system in your home and budget, and when something on your plan goes wrong, just call their 24/7 hotline to start the repair process. They've helped homeowners like you for over 20 years with 4.5 million customers and a 4.8 out of 5 post-repair rating. They're the real deal. Help protect your home systems and your wallet with a plan from HomeServe. Plans start at just $4.99 a month. Go to homeserve.com to find the plan that's right for you. That's homeserve.com. Not available everywhere. Most plans range between $4.99 to $11.99 a month for your first year. Terms apply on covered repairs.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Things are slowing down to a crawl this morning on 183 southbound before you get to Duval Road due to reports of an accident in the area. Your delays start from McNeil Drive, causing a 10-minute slowdown. Congestion also on I-35 northbound between Onion Creek Parkway over to William Cannon, but all lanes are back open on Highway 79 eastbound at County Road 110. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Over 3 million Texans struggle with diabetes. They're our neighbors, teachers, doctors and nurses, police officers, and often their family members. Across every walk of life, Texans may be fighting a serious health battle, but there's hope for a cure. Right now, when you make a donation to HelpStopDiabetes.com, Thomas J. Henry will generously match your donation, with all proceeds supporting the American Diabetes Association. Because when we take care of each other, we take care of Texas. Please make your donation today. Visit HelpStopDiabetes.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. This is John Hope Bryant, founder of Operation Hope. Money doesn't come with an instruction manual, and that's where we come in. Operation Hope is America's financial coach, helping you build your financial future at no cost to you. We're here to help you take the first steps to boost your credit score, pay down your debt, or start a business. With over 300 locations across the U.S., we're making economic opportunity available to millions for over 30 years. Visit Operation Hope today and get started on your economic future you've always dreamed of.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
1971. It was a simpler time, a groovy time. Soul Train had just started chugging along. Everyone had a lava lamp for some reason. Weeble started to wobble, but as we all know, they don't fall down.
It's really something.
But it wasn't all Weebles and bell-bottoms. There was also the Vietnam War and a growing nationwide movement protesting it.
Look behind you. See the thousands marching today.
Across the country, people were speaking up, and the more they did, the more they learned about the hidden underbelly of the most powerful law enforcement agency in the land. I'm Ed Helms, host of Snafu, Season 2, Medberg, the story of a daring heist that exposed J. Edgar Hoover's epic FBI snafu. Hear the incredible true story that almost got buried.
I was told that it might not be published the next day or might not be published ever.
As told by the ordinary citizens who took extraordinary measures.
Getting caught was virtually inevitable.
To expose J. Edgar Hoover's secret FBI.
Many of the techniques were clearly illegal, but justified in the interest of national security.
If it meant some risks that were involved, well, that's what citizens sometimes have to do.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app.
Good morning, Kickoff. Good morning, Kickoff.
It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland, Mo City, El Paso,
San Antonio, and Silsbee, Texas.
Or wherever you may be listening. This is a Texas Tuesday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300. The Zone. Black Monday was in full effect, and a lot of people got pink slips. Ole Miss gets great news headed into the college football playoffs. Joe Cook of Inside Texas joins us at 7:34. Tommy Yarish of DallasCowboys.com joins us at 8 a.m. Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans, which you can hear right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, joins us at 8:17 to talk all things Houston Texans. And, of course, Texas men's basketball travel to take on a former Longhorn head coach. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the
Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Also, if you want to voice your opinion, all you got to do is leave us a message using that talkback feature on the new and improved and always free iHeartRadio app. We'll hear it instantly. If it's good enough, you might even hear it on air. Well, let's get into it, because yesterday was one of those days that a lot of folks in the NFL call Black Monday. And what that means is you get pink slips across the NFL. And as we were talking during the show yesterday, they started to roll in.
Yeah.
But by the end of the day, there were a lot more names that were added to the list. We'll start in Atlanta with Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris was relieved of his duties as the Atlanta Falcons head coach, and they also relieved their general manager of their duties and their president. He was also let go. And Mark, you came in earlier and was talking to me about what does Atlanta need to do for Bijan Robinson. And I kept telling you, and I kept saying it the whole time. And yes, he went for over 2,200 yards. He did a lot. But I still think he had a lot more to give that team. And I think their team was not using him enough. We saw it. Raheem Morris went in the locker room, proclaimed it to everybody that Bijan Robinson may be the best player in the NFL. Back, whatever. But yet, they still didn't find a way to get the ball in his hand enough.
And that is why a guy came to their desk and said, hey, I was told to walk you out to your car. Here's a box. Get all your stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's the second mistake. The second mistake is not using Bijan properly.
Right.
The first mistake was a couple of years ago when they had a quarterback that was making all the money, and they drafted with the number 10 pick overall another quarterback when they could have gotten a wide receiver. They could have got another offensive lineman to help. They could have got a blocking tight end. They could have got a defense. There's so much that could have happened, but they didn't.
Right.
And they hamstrung their team because of the front office, because the head coach didn't make that decision.
Right.
It was the front office. So that's why they left. That's why they got let go.
Yeah, they had to make that move.
Morris's reason is what you just said. He did not give Bijan the respect, as did I, that he deserved.
You would have been relieved of your duties.
They would have fired me too.
You would have been relieved of your duties as well. Across the NFL, it continued. Early in the season, you knew what happened with the Titans. Callahan got let go, and they also let go Mike McCoy, who was during the interim. Brian Daboll was let go, and so was Koepka. He was the one who was in as the interim. The Arizona Cardinals relieved Jonathan Gannon of his duties. All he did was go 15-36 after starting 2
and punch a player.
Yeah, and gotta go. He's up out of there. Pete Carroll, 74 years old. Go play golf, Pete. He's out of there. They went 3-14 in that first season.
He was a spry old guy, though.
You can be as spry as you want, but go ahead and go play golf. That'd be spry over there. Call your buddies and go do that. You're in Vegas. Go gamble. Go sit up there and play pinochle. Those types of games. But this is the one that we knew was going to happen, and I'm tired of the narrative, oh, he'll get a job in 2 minutes. Kevin Stefanski
Here we go.
in Cleveland deserved to go. And listen.
Can you give me like your top 3 reasons why he's out of there and should have been out of there?
I think he doesn't relate to the players. I think he's one of those guys that continues to be above them.
Okay.
That false narrative of being coach of the year, that could go to anybody at any time. He got
it's a beauty
twice.
contest.
He got it twice. He deserved it. No, he didn't. Go look at the people's records that same year. The reason why he got it is because he was dealing with the Cleveland Browns. He lost the respect of that locker room. He lost it. You can see it. And I think you know as well as I do, because you've been in locker rooms. I've been in locker rooms. Marcus, you've been in the military, so you know what it's like to have a teammate that has to have your back and be around you. When you don't have the respect of the players that are in that locker room because of your ego, because of the fact that you are not doing the things that they feel that you are helping the team out. Look, I know this. Players will respect you when you show respect to them. As a human being, forget all the other stuff, and you can't hold grudges in the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, whatever sport it is that you fancy. You cannot hold a grudge. And those fans got to Jimmy Haslam, and Jimmy Haslam talked about that conversation and why it was time to make a change.
Now I want to turn our attention and talk to our fans, okay? And I want you to hear this, okay? First of all, ownership takes full responsibility for where we are. To win 8 games in 2 years is horrible. It's totally unacceptable, okay? And it's not going to continue, okay? And I want the fans to know we are as frustrated as you are, and we hear a lot from our fans, which we actually appreciate. We have great fans. They're extremely passionate, and they deserve better than what they've gotten the last 2 years, okay? No, I don't need to say anything else. We are going to give you a better product. Our sole goal here is to be a consistent winner, not make the playoffs in 20 and then make it again in 23, not win 8 games in 2 years. That's not what we're trying to do. That's not acceptable. Our fans deserve better.
Okay. We got to make sure we get this done. Okay. And I think a lot of this has to do with the handling of Shedeur Sanders.
Yes, it did. Speak on it.
It has a lot to do with the handling of Shedeur Sanders. Now, I understand Shedeur is not the one that everybody in America wanted to be the quarterback. But it doesn't matter because the people in Cleveland wanted him to be the quarterback. They didn't look at Dylan Gabriel, regardless of what his college tape looked like. They didn't want Dylan Gabriel. They wanted Shedeur Sanders, regardless if you like his flash, his dash, his daddy, mama, brothers, whatever. The kid can go out there and he competes. And it goes back to what I was saying about the locker room. If you're an athlete, and all the athletes that are listening to this show out there, you all know exactly what I'm talking about, because when you walk in the locker room and you see a guy that is bringing energy every single day. He shows up to work, he gets it done, and you know that he helps you win, and he's not seeing the field. That's a problem.
The locker room does not lie.
It does not.
When a guy is good and he does not play, and people going, bro, why you not playing? Man, you killing them at practice.
That's the worst thing that can happen.
Hey, that happened though.
I know. Oh, trust me.
Remember in the preseason?
I know.
Shedeur went out there and was killing it.
Yep.
And then guess what happened? The next week, no more first team reps. He never touched the first and second team reps again.
Right.
And that's the coach. The coach is like, oh shoot, he did good. I gotta not put him in there where he can look good.
Yep.
That's coaching. That's why he got fired, guys.
Yeah. And everybody talking about he'll get a job in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. You're probably right, because everybody in the NFL gets recycled.
It's a recycle league.
Let me go over to this thing. Let me give this guy a chance. No, start giving some people that are putting in the work, that have been doing it for years. Quit thinking that just because this guy did this over there that he's going to be great at this. It doesn't always work like that. It doesn't always work like that. And I think that there are more people that should be getting opportunities than a Kevin Stefanski. I just think that he's a jerk, and that's probably why I feel that way. Do I know him personally? No. But when I watch his interviews, and trust me, I watched a lot of them.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of them, and he got challenged a lot by the Cleveland media, and he would not stand there. He would always be short with them and not being the leader that he needed to be. And that is why he's out there looking for a job and probably going to get another one probably tomorrow. That's just how this thing works. We're just getting started here on a Texas Tuesday.
Glad
edition.
you got that off your chest.
Yeah, it's still there. I got a little bit more. We're going to talk about the college football playoffs, and Ole Miss gets some great news ahead of the playoffs, but it does have a caveat to it. We'll keep this thing going right here on a Texas Tuesday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey there, Texas fans. This is the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way, inviting you to join us for Longhorn football. We'll bring you all of the action all season long, including in-depth analysis and exclusive access to players and coaches before the opening kick and after the final whistle. And every week, we'll talk with Texas Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian on Longhorn Weekly. This is your exclusive source for Texas Longhorn football
on 1300 The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
An accident blocks off the express lane on Mopac southbound at Spicewood Springs, causing a 5-minute backup from Highway 183. On I-35 southbound, reports of a crash at Slaughter Lane, and you're also slow going the opposite direction in the same spot, I-35 northbound from Highway 45 to William Cannon, about a 15-minute out of your commute. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Clogged drain? No problem. Abacus makes it 1, 2, 3 easy. They clear the drain, conduct a video inspection, and include a 123-day clog-free guarantee for just $123. No wonder they say Abacus. You can count on us.
Visit abacusplumbing.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The college football semifinals are this week. Trade on the games legally in Texas on Kalshi. Will Oregon upset Indiana? They're trading at 38% to win. That means $100 trade pays out $271 if they win. Make money trading on football, politics, culture, and more. If it matters, you can trade on it with Kalshi. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code IHEART to get $20 when you trade $100. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Need a reason to call Thomas J. Henry Law after a car accident? How about $1 billion? Because Thomas J. Henry Law fights even when the insurance company says your claim is worth nothing. Thomas J. Henry doesn't back down. That's how we put over $1 billion in our clients' pockets in just the last 4 years, and why we're one of the largest personal injury law firms in Texas. Car accident? Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Principal office, San Antonio.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Russ Faria was charged with a crime that he swore he did not commit.
No, I did not do this. I do not know how this happened. I did not do this. I was not involved with this.
Just after Christmas, Troy, Missouri, 2011.
The jury was left with no alternative, and in most people's words, the husband did it. Who else would have?
The prosecutor said it was rage, greed. We wouldn't be here if the answer was that easy.
In my opinion, an innocent man got charged with murder, and then it started to snowball from there.
I'm Keith Morrison. I've been a correspondent for Dateline NBC for 25 years. And in that time, I've never seen a story quite like this before. As we investigated this saga of murder, greed, lies, things became personal. What happens when a true crime show becomes part of the story? we could never have imagined.
I've worked on other cases that have twists and turns, but I've never worked on a case like this with so many twists and turns that were completely unpredictable.
From Dateline NBC, this is The Thing About Pam, the wild and unbelievable story of the murder of Betsy Faria.
I'd like to see this story conclude with justice. Betsy Faria has not received justice. Russ Faria has not received justice. Her family has not received justice.
And if we've learned anything in all the years we followed this story, anything is possible.
Whoa.
I'm Keith Morrison. The Thing About Pam, an all-new podcast from Dateline NBC. Subscribe now.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns live here.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. Coming up in the next segment, we've got our guy Joe Cook of Inside Texas giving us an update on the transfer portal, the moves that are being made. Baseball season just around the corner. We'll also at 8 o'clock, we'll go up to Dallas and talk to our guy, Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com. And 1 hour from now, we'll talk to the voice of the Houston Texans, Mark Vandermeer.
My guy.
To talk all things Houston Texans, as they are the team in Texas that make it to the playoffs and they get to play in prime time. No 12 o'clock slot for the Houston Texans in the first round of the playoffs. But right now, we're going to go to Ole Miss, Mississippi. The Ole Miss Rebels get ready for their matchup this weekend. And this is a big one because during the week, obviously, you understand that these players are being tugged in different directions. There's guys that are being poached and pulled because of what we talked about with the transfer portal. And, of course, guys being asked if they're staying or going from certain schools. Well, yesterday on ESPN, one Trinidad Chambers, the quarterback of the Ole Miss Rebels, spoke about his decision and where he will play next year if the NCAA lets him pass with the eligibility waiver.
Yeah, I made that decision last night, very late. Talked to my agent and my family, and it was the best decision. And it was the best situation for me. I owe it to Ole Miss. Ever since I got here, from the moment I got here, on my visit in May or in April, it just felt like home. And they just embraced me as a community and just loved my family, and it just felt like home since I got here.
So you said you decided last night, which would lead me to believe that obviously it was a big decision you had to make going into the college football playoff semifinals. Was there ever a thought in your mind that there could be an open door elsewhere?
I guess, but not really. I knew that was right. And, I always have trust in, PG and, Coach Judge. And
oh, wow.
That's it.
A little bit more. Thought there was a little bit more. But, yes. There is always something that you look at and you say, all right, this is a guy that has gone through every level. He played at a Division II, ended up winning the Heisman Trophy of Division II, then goes and plays for a national championship at Ferris State, wins that, and now he's taken Ole Miss to a place where he wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year. It was Simmons was supposed to be the starting quarterback. He got hurt and he got Wally pipped and his job was taken from him. And now he's in the transfer portal. And like he said, I owe it to Ole Miss because they gave me the opportunity. They played well. And now he is one game away from playing for a national championship with his brothers.
Well, that's going to look real good on draft day next year. When you talk about loyalty, you talk about this guy, he got an opportunity. He took advantage of his opportunity. And why would he go and start all over again somewhere else in a new system when he has the potential in this system that he's currently in to go and shine like a light?
Well, here's the only problem with that. Because if he was going to leave, he was going to go to LSU, and the offensive coordinator and Lane Kiffin are both there, that would have been the spot, because that's where everybody thought he was going to end up. But the fact that he is now deciding, hey, I'm staying here, I want to be here, but it's also he applied for a waiver with the NCAA to see if he can get an extra year of college. I don't see why he wouldn't. It's a medical situation. He was hurt while he was at the other school. So now they're trying to find a way to get them in that situation.
But the NCAA does not have to do it.
Agreed. That's why he said it's
there is a chance that we may get a report in a few days where they say, no, thank you for coming. God bless. Good night. And he'll be out to enter the NFL.
Yeah. But I think that for him, I mean, again, I told you, that dude is short. I mean, I don't know what the NFL is looking for anymore, but he is a very...
Do you think, when you say short, do you mean 5'9" short or
Yes.
5'10" short? 11?
5, whatever. He is short. And I know him getting out of the pocket looks beautiful. I love the way the kid plays. He's elusive. He may be the answer for somebody, but I don't see him moving up on a draft board, because the intangibles are always going to be, when you look at a guy, because look at what's going on with Tua right now. Look at what's going on with Kyler. Look at what's going on with all these quote unquote short quarterbacks. It's becoming tougher and tougher for those guys to make it happen. Even Lamar Jackson the other day couldn't get the ball over the offensive lineman. over the defensive lineman. They were knocking down his passes the other day. And what, Lamar's like 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah.
So I hope so. I'm pulling for the little guy. Trust me. I'm always pulling for the little guy. But you start looking at where they're looking right now. And for him to stay in college, hopefully he gets that opportunity. We're letting people come from the NBA to come back to college. They're playing the G League and stuff, play overseas pro. The NCAA got to find a way to let that kid come back and be able to play.
They got to govern better.
It is kind of a gamble for him because Charlie Weiss is going to LSU, so you don't even know who's the offensive coordinator going into next year will be.
But I think that they're looking at, because him coming back, they're going to find somebody that can fit what he's capable of doing. That's what a good coach would do. That's what somebody that has some sense would do. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Another part of what's going on with them is Keywan Lacey, the running back, that has been getting busy.
The monster.
Yes. He decided that he is going to stay at Ole Miss as well. They found enough money. So they made that happen for them.
He said they found enough money. They looked under the couch. Oh, hey, man, look at this.
Yeah. Did you never cash that check? Nope, I didn't. So now we got that money for you as well. Ole Miss will take on Miami, and that is going to decide who will play in the championship game against the winner of Indiana and Oregon. We'll continue those conversations all week long. But this also has a bearing on the Texas Longhorns, because Ole Miss, if they have both of those guys, regardless if they have both of those guys, I know they at least have one, they will be here on October the 24th as they will come to DKR Texas Memorial Stadium to take on the Texas Longhorns. So we'll get a chance to see those guys up close and personal as they get ready to get ready for the 2026 season. Also yesterday, there was a championship, much to the chagrin of one Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. We will talk to him tomorrow, so I can't wait to ask him about that championship game last night.
Man, what happened in Montana?
That happened last night on 4th down, and they became a champion.
Can get a first down inside the 5. Showing pressure on 4th down in overtime. They bring pressure. Lamson throws. End zone. Touchdown. Taco Dollar. And a kick away from a championship.
They end up making the extra point. They become the champions of the FCS. Montana State tops Illinois State for the victory in one of the best games. I kept getting texts last night. They were like, are you watching this game? Are you watching this game? 35-34 in overtime. One of the best championship games we will probably ever see. Montana State goes 14-2 and making things happen.
You think that we can get Danny to do the call?
No.
No?
No. Not
Come
at
on,
all.
Danny. Hey, man.
No chance.
I know you experienced it and you know what happened. Can you make the call?
No chance that Danny will ever give Montana State, the Bobcats, the love that they are expecting. Ain't no way.
No way?
No way that Danny will ever give them that love. We're just keeping rolling right here on the Morning Kickoff. Coming up next, we're going to talk to our guy, Joe Cook of Inside Texas. Get the latest on the transfer portal. What other options are there out there? And what's next for this Texas football team? Don't go anywhere. The Morning Kickoff rolls on right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
There's reports of an accident going northbound on I-35 at Kyle Parkway, and further northbound past that, also on I-35, your stop and go from Highway 45 to William Cannon, causing a 20-minute slowdown. The accident that blocked off the express lane has cleared on Mopac southbound at Spicewood Springs, but speeds are still pretty slow starting from Palmer. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Need
an AC company you can count on? Call Abacus. From tune-ups to repairs and the latest indoor air quality solutions, Abacus can do it all. Now get 0% financing for 60 months on select Linux systems. If you want the best, call Abacus. You can count on us.
Introducing True Earnings Checking from Austin Telco Federal Credit Union. Earnings that are almost too good to be true. Earn 5% APY on balances up to $15,000. It's simple. Just deposit at least $1,500 in new money and make 15 debit card transactions each month. No minimum balance, no monthly fees, even if you miss the requirements. Open your account online or at any of our 24 Austin area locations. Visit atfcu.org to learn more. Rates subject to change without notice. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's a sale. Right now, every service needed for your vehicle is on sale at any of the 3 Leaf Johnson Ford locations, Austin, Manor, and Buda. And we're wide open. Tires, brakes, oil changes for only $39.99 with synthetic blend oil, tire rotations, and alignments. You name it. Any of the 3 Central Texas locations have it on sale. Can't come see us? We'll come see you with our mobile van on most services, or we'll come pick it up and bring it back. Go to leafjohnson.com and pick your location and time. You'll love it at Leaf, Austin, Buda, and Manor.
Kohl's new clearance markdowns are intense. Up to 70% off is the kind of deal that'll leave you feeling stunned and make you whisper things like, "Where have you been my whole life?" to a cardigan. Just take a deep breath, steady your cart, and try to act normal. But it's not possible. The savings are just too good. Shop new clearance markdowns now in-store and online at Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The Spurs visit the Grizzlies tonight. Victor Wembanyama is questionable due to a hyperextended knee. The Texans begin their quest for their first Lombardi Trophy in franchise history as they prep for the Steelers Monday night in the AFC wildcard round in Pittsburgh. Longhorns added former Michigan State tight end Michael Masunis through the transfer portal. I'm Ronta Moss.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Allstate.
Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. you're in good hands with Allstate.
Jesus didn't live passively. He lived on a rescue mission. As we step into the new year, the Daily Pursuit with Tim Tebow podcast reminds us that God has called us to more, to live on purpose and rise as conquerors. As followers of Christ, we're called to do the same, because discipline may be painful in the moment, but it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace. Open your free iHeartRadio app. Search The Daily Pursuit with Tim Tebow and listen now.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast.
Hey, Joe, can you hear us?
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try. He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love, because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We all use AI, but here, it never pretends it's real. AM 1300 The Zone. Guaranteed human.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. My guy, he always breaks it down. He was the one and only. Oh, wait, we're going to end up getting Joe Cook back here in just a second, as he is some technical issues. You know how that goes. But we're about to make some things happen with Joe Cook, because they have been doing some good work over there at Inside Texas, and giving you all the information that you could possibly need to get the latest on what's going on with the transfer portal, the players that are involved, and who is going where at this particular time. And one of the things that we always talk about with the transfer portal is, where is your guy at? Where is your person that has been able to leave the program, the University of Texas in particular, and where do they end up? And a lot of these Texas Longhorns are finding a new home. Trey Wisner, yesterday, it was announced that he is going to be at Florida State. Connor Stroh has announced that he is going to be at Kansas. And then Jarrett Gibson also made the announcement that he is going to be at Purdue. Now, there's other guys that are involved here on the 40 acres, and some new guys that are coming to the University of Texas, and we are about to get those guys as well. So it's going to be an interesting time, as Texas is hosting a running back. They just got a commitment from a tight end from Michigan State. And he's from Arizona, and I got a buddy of mine that covers Arizona and has seen a lot of what's going on in Arizona. And he said that Texas got a great player from this new tight end, Michael Mansunis, from Michigan State. So that is something that is not Mansunis, Masunis is the name, I guess you could go by. So we'll see what Joe has to say about that. But Texas is making moves in the transfer portal, Mark.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of his clips yesterday, and he can sit down, do the possession receiver thing. But that first guy, if you go for his legs, he's going to break your tackle.
Right.
So he's a tackle breaker, and that's always good to have.
Yeah. And Texas is trying to make some serious moves right now, because this is a team that has gone through a lot. This is a team that has to make some adjustments. And with that being said, let's go to our guy, Joe Cook of Inside Texas. Joe, how you doing this morning, buddy?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem, man. Sorry for the mix-up, but we got it taken care of. And as we were talking about, Texas is in the position of getting some new players here on the 40 acres. We talked about Trey Wisner finding a home at Florida State. We had just talked about Connor Rowe going to Kansas. But Texas is bringing in some guys, and they made some moves earlier in the week.
Yeah, so let's start on Sunday. Three specialists: kicker, punter, deep snapper. They're just experienced guys. You go into 2026 knowing what they are instead of being like, okay, who are these freshmen? So good players all around, all solid pickups. You get a 380-pound nose tackle and Ian Gefford from Arkansas. He's someone who, when you're looking at Will Muschamp's defense, you need a zero technique, head over the center nose tackle. And there are a couple of those guys on the roster, but they need more than a couple. And so that was that addition. Then you get to, the other day with Michael Masunas, a Michigan State tight end. Texas, as we know, Sark likes to run those two tight end sets. And this is your guy that you put on the line of scrimmage and basically let be another piece of the offensive line, big blocker. And he allows for Nick Townsend to, who's also going to have to do some operating on the, end of the line of scrimmage. But he allows for Nick Townsend to really be that off-ball tight end, really utilized in a way conducive to his skill set, and opens up some two tight end looks for Sark that they didn't really have a ton this year. They had it in 2024 with Gunnar Helm and Juan Davis. And oddly enough, Gunnar was the receiver of that group, and Juan Davis was never really, utilized as a receiver. But he was still a willing blocker, gave those two tight end looks in the run plays that play off of them some good opportunities, and that helped open up things downfield for guys like Matthew Golden. So a lot of, it's probably not the superstars and the, boom, 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 boom that I think a lot of people wanted, but these are players that really do help to set a solid floor. If these are the guys that you're able to get decently easy, I guess to say, you can start reaching for the stars. And that's what Texas is definitely doing. I think a lot of people may be wondering where all the additions are and stuff like that. And maybe got concerned that Isaac Brown and Jaden Baugh, two running backs at Texas is very, very in on, didn't elect to leave their school. Well, and they're like, oh, well, Texas isn't really trying. Well, congratulations to those teams for making a goal line stop after Texas drove 99 yards down the field on players that were already on their roster.
Yeah, Joe, a lot of people were disappointed that the big splash didn't happen. But how important is it to have a deep snapper? Or you don't know how important it is to have a deep snapper until you don't have one.
Yeah, and they were either going to rely on a walk-on or a true freshman, and I think it's in Texas fans' best interest to have no clue who this kid's name is for the next couple of years. Because if he does that, then he did his job right. And luckily for Texas, most of the deep snappers have done exactly that, basically dating back about 7 or 8 years, I feel like. So a lot of you want that to be a known. You don't want that to be something that you're concerned about. And when this guy compared to a freshman, you remove all that concern.
Yeah, and he's got a nickname. Anytime you got a nickname like the Sniper, you've done something.
Yeah, he knows what he's the locker room guy. You can tell.
Joe, we're talking to Joe Cook of Inside Texas. Make sure you follow him at Joseph Cook 89. Joe, a lot of scuttle has come out about the Parker Livingston situation. Obviously, there was a report that came out about Parker and how he was forced out. We all know better than that. But can you clear up some of the things that you and some of your guys over at Inside Texas have kind of unveiled when it comes to what happened with Parker?
Yeah, I think what the deal with Parker is that he had a number. Texas had a number for him, and Texas wanted to be able to not only have Parker, but also be able to go and attack some guys like Cam Coleman and some other wide receivers in the portal who they knew were going to be expensive, and they just the numbers didn't line up. And I don't think it was Texas showing him the door. I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was business, and they just could not come to an agreement on the number that they both wanted to meet at. And Parker, being a high quality player, he can go get that number as a player who's obviously really good, caught a lot of touchdowns this year, can stick at the Power 5 level. I think Texas fans are going to be in for, I don't know what it is. When you're visiting Oklahoma as a former Longhorn, it's hard for people to do the whole "go be great" thing, especially when they're going to play him next year, and that kid's going to be motivated. I mean, I don't think anybody was very, super kind to, not super kind, but they, as soon as Brennan Thompson picked Oklahoma, it was like, well, okay, maybe don't be all that good. And then, that's just a dynamic that we're kind of getting used to. So we'll see. I saw he was at Oklahoma. I think there's reports about going to Indiana as well. DFW kid. So maybe there's something going closer to home, but I think it's just I know that his message said what it did, and that's his side of the story. I think Texas has their side of the story, and I think the story that comes together from both those is just that there was a business negotiation that they couldn't find a middle ground on.
Joe, they always say that there's there's more than two sides of the story. There's his side, their side, and the truth.
Yeah, no doubt. And the thing is, I don't think anybody should be painted in a negative light on this. I think it's just, it's just something that we're just so not used to with college sports, where everybody has such passionate fandom for a team that it's been around for 100 years. The how many times have the Raiders moved, and how many times have they lost fans? Well, the Longhorns aren't leaving Austin. I know TCU moved from Waco to Fort Worth about 100 years ago, but that was a rare thing. So it's just the passion that this sport has, and a changing dynamic of guys coming and going way more often than they used to. I think is it's hard for a lot of fans to come to terms with, as we're still about this is year 7 of the transfer portal, but it's also about like year 3 or 4 of it really being crazy like this.
Yeah, because it is definitely wild. Before we let you go, Joe, any news that we should be looking for coming up here in the next couple days of potential players or some more commitments?
Yeah, one guy we're on the lookout for as far as the running back position goes is Raleek Brown. Arizona State rushed for 1,000 yards this year. Started his career at USC. I think he was on the Caleb Williams Heisman team. Transferred to Arizona State. Didn't really do much in their Big 12 championship year. Then transfer and sticks around. I think some injuries helped him become the number 1 running back, and he's not necessarily like a number 1 running back looking guy. I mean, he's 5'9", he's about 185, but he's electric with the ball in his hands.
Neither.
And he's electric with the ball in his hands. He's able to he ran tough. And I think he wanted to get to Texas yesterday, but Texas put some travel plans together. Coach Jabbar Jaluke is going out to see him, I believe, in California. I think that's where he's at right now. He's a modern day product, and then he'll come to. The plan is for him to come to town on what's today? On Wednesday. So that's one to watch out for. There's also a linebacker on campus from Wisconsin named Christian Allegro. Luke Fickell, who's Wisconsin's head coach, his head coaching record aside, linebackers are his specialty. And this kid is tough as nails. If you go to his official Wisconsin bio, it says in the Ohio State game, he broke a bone in his arm and then finished playing and recorded 2 tackles for loss. So he was on campus yesterday and today with his dad. A couple more visitors coming through. We got it all over at Inside Texas.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make sure that we follow that and continue to lock in. As always, Joe, we appreciate you making the adjustment and getting it done. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it. There he is, Joe Cook of Inside Texas. When we come back, we'll close out hour number 1. We got some NBA sound for you, and you definitely want to stick around for this.
Oh,
it's pretty
yeah.
doggone funny. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Coach Sark here. Stay connected to the Longhorns on the free iHeartRadio app.
Breaks a tackle, 30, turns down the sidelines. Say goodnight to this one. Touchdown, Texas.
Just search 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
There's reports of an accident going northbound on I-35 at Kyle Parkway, and further northbound past that, also on I-35, your stop and go from Highway 45 to William Cannon, causing a 20-minute slowdown. The accident that blocked off the express lane has cleared on Mopac southbound at Spicewood Springs, but speeds are still pretty slow starting from Parmer. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Did you miss the Bitcoin wagon? Millions got rich because they got in on a technology you still don't understand. But the crypto gang got greedy, handing control of the Bitcoin network to China. This carelessness gives us a second chance called Texacoin. You're invited on the Texacoin journey. We'll guide you through this new frontier to claim your share of the profits. Don't let your friends get rich without you. Secure your seat as we take Texacoin to the moon and beyond. Learn more at Texacoin.org. This is an investment that carries risk. Texacoin.org.
Running for office means having something important to say. Radio is the most personal medium out there. Voters hear the real you, exactly the way you want to be heard. No filters, no AI, just your voice, your message. And it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign. Connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Call now and be on the air in just 48 hours. 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
The second I see that Chick-fil-A text in the group chat, I'm throwing my shoes on and running out the door. Hey, I'm Layla.
And I'm Kaylin.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is
how it feels like an easygoing morning.
The chicken adds the most flavor. It's juicy and seasoned.
The biscuit is just very light and airy and fluffy, just like a cloud.
I also love to put jelly on mine, so it's sweet and savory.
It's a good start to the day.
Mornings are a little bit brighter with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit and Simply Orange Juice. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
From the Audio Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio Did You Know? Presented by iHeartRadio. You know, what you're listening to right now. Did you know that iHeartRadio not only lets you listen to all your favorite AM, FM stations locally and nationwide for free, but iHeartRadio also has a team of people who are as passionate about music as you, working round the clock to hand curate playlists perfect for any mood or activity. We know the right soundtrack can help set the mood, change your mood, or enhance any activity. And that's why we have thousands of playlists tuned to fit any situation. The best part, you can listen to all your playlists for free. Tap the playlist tab in the iHeartRadio app and explore playlists to help you get in the zone while working out or chill when it's time to wind down. Playlists for a party, sleeping, cooking, gaming, or road tripping. Playlists curated with the best hits from every decade and playlists with the biggest hits from every genre. Tap the playlist tab and discover all the playlists available to you free from iHeartRadio. #1 for music, radio, and podcasting, all in one app.
iHeartRadio. Coach Sark here. 1300 The Zone is your flagship home for the Texas Longhorns.
From our guy Joe Cook of Inside Texas, as he had to make an adjustment, but as always, that's what we do. Coming up at the 8 o'clock, at the top of the 8 o'clock, we'll have Tommy Yards from DallasCowboys.com as he breaks down the Cowboys, followed by Mark Vandermeer as the Houston Texans advance in the playoffs and they get ready for a big-time matchup with the Pittsburgh Steelers in prime time. But I want to talk NBA real quick because last night Kevin Durant made his trip back to Phoenix, and let's just say he left them like he left them.
Jabari the inbounder into Kevin Durant. Durant for three. Yes, he's got it! Kevin Durant gives the Rockets the lead. 100-97.
And that's exactly how that game ended. 100-97 as Kevin Durant made his way back to Phoenix and left them upset. But the story of the night last night was the Clippers and the Warriors game. The Clippers end up winning the game 103 to 102. But the interesting part about it was not the play on the court. It was somebody that was doing the commentary during the game. And let's just say he brought the hood back out.
That momentum, she will swing your direction from time to time. Go to the rack, Draymond, all the way. Good pass. Ooh! Ooh, he snapped the break. He Windex shine that. Get off the Windex shine.
That hit the backboard. Oh, look at Steve Kerr. He's all the way out here.
Uh-oh, Steve gonna get thrown out. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Back him up. Back him up, GP. Back him up, Steve. Get the fire on him.
He's already gone.
Steve banging Inglewood right now. Inglewood. Get him, Steve. You and Inglewood, Steve. The Arizona Wildcat that came out and look at it.
Snoop D-O-double-G
Let's
was part
go.
of the broadcast last night on Peacock. And let's just say he went back to his roots.
How much fun was that, though?
Oh, I'm sure it was outstanding. That game was a little bit too late for your boy, so I had to lay it down. So,
well, I just saw highlights. I was don't think for 1 second that I was awake.
But yeah, I bet it was hilarious because when I saw him, he did an interview earlier with Steph Curry. He did one with Kawhi. So you know that he when he does this, he's engaged to the game.
He loves the game.
He even had a necklace that was the old peacock from NBC. He had the logo on his necklace. So he was all in.
He was all in.
Yeah.
Did you hear Kawhi speak?
I did.
Kawhi Leonard spoke for like 5 minutes, like 4 or 5 minutes. And I've never heard him speak that long or that engaged.
Right.
It's always, hey, Kawhi, how you doing? Fine. Hey, Kawhi, you had 36 points tonight. You know, does that lean into you being more of an offensive threat now? Well, if my team puts me in that spot. He's very dry.
Yeah.
Man, he had diarrhea of the mouth yesterday. I mean, I could not believe it.
They won.
There you go.
Yeah, and
there you go.
He had 24 and 12 in their matchup last night. So interesting commentary. So let's put it like this. I know a lot of people watch Peyton Manning and Eli Manning on the Manning cast. They need to have the Snoop cast for all NBA
for basketball.
Games. And I guarantee you that will outdo the regular matchup. I promise you that. Hour number 1 is in the books. Coming up in hour number 2, we will talk to our guy, Tommy Yarish of DallasCowboys.com, right around the corner, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app. It's that watch party time, whether it's in the living room, the backyard, or a packed house. Wherever you're watching football, make sure you bring some Bud Light. It's cold, it's refreshing, and always ready for kickoff. One sip and you know it's game time. So the watch party has officially started. Bud Light, the official domestic beer of Texas football. Bud Light, it's easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but for your finances as well. But did you know financial health is directly related to identity protection? You need LifeLock because your personal information is in endless places that are outside of your control. And all it takes is one mistake, not even your mistake, to expose your identity. And all of a sudden, there's identity theft and lost funds. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second and alerts you to threats you may miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it. Backed by $1 million protection package. In fact, restoration is guaranteed, or your subscription money is returned. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft. Don't go alone. Resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's resolution. LifeLock.com, save up to 40% on your first year. Promo code Patrick. That's promo code Patrick, 40% off. LifeLock.com, terms apply.
Want to save some money in 2026? Stop paying for apps you don't need. The iHeartRadio app is completely free. Live radio stations, music playlists for everything, and the most podcasts on the planet. The number one app for radio is free. iHeartRadio. Listen now.
Hey, this is Jamie Loftus, and this is my new weekly show, 16th Minute of Fame. The podcast where every episode, I take a closer look at an internet character of the day. Who were they? What made them so notorious? How did the internet, or sometimes the algorithm, choose them? And what does a person do when they're suddenly confronted with more attention than the human psyche can handle? Take The Dress, a story that went uber viral in early 2015 in spite of being, well, kind of a boring optical illusion. A mother of the bride in Scotland took a picture of a dress she was thinking about wearing to her daughter's wedding. But she saw the dress as blue with black lace, and her daughter saw it as white with gold lace. One BuzzFeed post later, every single person on the internet was talking about the dress. But to me, the dress is a story about the last couple of months when the internet was still sort of fun. It was shortly before the stories that spread across the internet stopped being driven by exploited millennials with useless arts degrees and started being decided by algorithms hell-bent on growing internet usership at all costs. And on a long enough timeline, the story of the dress is one entangled with abuse and media exploitation. Internet history is a tricky thing to be invested in. It feels like every time a bad for business billionaire buys up another platform, history starts being erased. With the team at Cool Zone Media, we're taking these characters' 16th minute of fame to see what their moment meant to them and what it says about us.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. In hour number 1, we talked about Black Monday, coaches that have been fired in the NFL, and one in particular was the one that I was kind of happy he got fired, and that's Kevin Stefanski. We also talked about Ole Miss and the expectation of Trinidad Trailblazers trying to stick around for one more year, and we talked about Montana State winning on fourth down to win the FCS National Championship. We also heard from our guy, Joe Cook of Inside Texas, and we talked NBA. But right now, let's go up to the Metroplex and talk to our guy, Tommy Yarish of DallasCowboys.com. The Cowboys season continued to disappoint. Probably the worst defense in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. But now we all start to look at 2026 and what's next. What's up, Tommy? How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, guys. Doing good. It was a really fun year. I enjoy doing this job so much, even though it may not have been as enjoyable to those watching the Cowboys, which certainly isn't the best. But it's always a pleasure to come and talk to you guys about it.
Well, we appreciate you, brother.
Yes, it's you living the dream, man. I would love to be able to be around Cowboy land, being a born Cowboy fan since '71. So you are living the dream, man.
No, I sure am. And hey, anytime you want to come up, you are always welcome, sir. That goes for both of you guys. You just say the word and we'll make something happen.
Appreciate that, brother. Well, let's get into the Cowboys. Obviously disappointed. 7-win season. Cost me some money, by the way. But I digress when it comes to that. But the story seems to be that some things definitely have to change. And we know that the conversation about Matt Eberflus is leading the headlines around there. But I know you can't get into all the particulars of what's going on. But what is going on around the star in Dallas when it comes to that Texas the Dallas Cowboys defense? Excuse me.
Yeah. So what's going to happen this week is today and yesterday was player exit interviews. So those guys are going through the entire process. They're meeting with their position coaches, Brian Schottenheimer, and just kind of getting some finality to their season before they begin their off season. And then Wednesday and Thursday is when Brian Schottenheimer is going to turn his attention to the coaching staff as part of his season review process. So if there is a decision made on Matt Eberflus, I wouldn't expect it to come until either later this week or next, just because I think they really want to take a thorough look at everything on the defense, not just Matt Eberflus, but their personnel, their assistant coaches, and try and really figure out, okay, where are some of the roots of our struggles this year? Because when you give up more than 500 points for the first time in franchise history, something is very wrong, and there is blame to be widespread, not just on Matt Eberflus. I know he's going to get a lot of heat of it, and for some of it is deservedly so, but they're going to look at everything before they make any kind of decisions. And it really is a difficult place to be, because if you do move on from Matt Eberflus, now you're on your fourth defensive coordinator in 4 years. And again, you can't give up 500 points a year, but it's also really difficult to continue changing scheme and changing personnel and kind of what you want your defense to look like. And really, they haven't had an identity on defense, I don't feel like, for the last few years. And so that's what makes all of this really tricky. But I would expect those conversations to continue. And again, the coaching review is going to come in the next couple of days. So I would expect a decision sometime after that.
Well, that leads me to my question, and that is it scheme or is it the players? Like, what do the players fit the system, or is the system flawed? And then the players are, kind of like just out of position.
I think really, like it's been all season, Mark, I think it's a mix of both. I think there are some guys who thrive in the scheme. I think Quinnen Williams is one of them, because he's played in attack fronts for some of his career, and obviously he's played at a Pro Bowl level, all pro level. And then some guys, it just doesn't work as well. I think from the biggest issue, in my opinion, I'm a big you win the game at the line of scrimmage guy. If you don't control the line of scrimmage, you can't win a lot of football games. I don't think they controlled the line of scrimmage on defense outside of the interior. They would have some movement there at points this season, but outside of that, it really wasn't great. They can't get a pass rush, and when you can't get a pass rush, then you put so much weight on your linebackers and your corners and your safeties that everything can go downhill in a hurry. And Matt Eberflus's system is all right, we're going to try to keep everything in front of us and try not to give up big plays. The old Tampa 2 Rod Marinelli type of defense. And when they're still giving up big plays whilst trying to prevent it, that tells you there's a mixture of, all right, maybe this isn't the best scheme, and these guys are just not in the right places right now. So it seems like all kind of disconnect all over the place, and obviously that's what's going to need to be fixed if he does stick around, and then if he doesn't, then those kinds of issues just can't happen.
Yeah. We're talking to Tommy Yarish of DallasCowboys.com. You can follow him at Tommy_Yarish on social media. Tommy, obviously one of the other parts of the season was Diggs and his story and what happened with him. Now he's officially a Green Bay Packer. Saw that coming.
Thank God.
But now, what are the Cowboys going to do with personnel in the secondary? Are they happy with the guys that they have, or is that going to be one of the focuses this draft?
I would think it's definitely one of the top focuses for the draft and free agency. I think free agency is, going to be really big for Dallas. It's going to be very telling for how aggressive they want to be going into this season. I'll tell you this: they love Savone Revel, and I do too. I think this guy's going to be a really good player. I think the biggest issue with him this year was they got him back on the field, and he was ready, but it's really difficult to play corner when your knee is still kind of banged up and you're in a brace. And I think we saw a couple of times this year where he tries to make a play, and you can see that the brace is either in the way or he can't make the movement that he wants to make, and it comes back to bite him. And I think that if you don't believe me, watch some of his tape this year and then go back and watch some of his tape before the injury at East Carolina, and you'll see such a big difference in how he moves. So if he gets a full, healthy offseason under his belt and a training camp as well, remember, he didn't even have a training camp last year, I think this kid's going to be a really good player. And then in free agency or the draft, obviously, they're going to have to do something. There's already a couple guys I've seen in the draft process that I think would be pretty good from that first-round pick, but it wouldn't shock me, too, if that's a free agency decision, because after those first 2 first-round picks, they don't have a pick until day 3. So they're going to have to be wise with how they kind of make those decisions, and once free agency starts, we'll probably get a good idea of how they want to approach the draft.
My number one question is there somebody out there that the Cowboys are looking at as, we need to have this guy be a common force in our secondary in free agency?
That's a good question. I don't even know if they've begun thinking about the free agent process. Off the top of my head, I don't know who the free agent corners are this year. But when they get to that point, I think you're probably looking for a younger guy, maybe even a veteran guy, depending on who the defensive coordinator hires, if they want somebody experienced back there. But they like their taller corners, their long arm corners, guys who are smart players, guys who have been captains or veterans or leaders on a team or something like that. That's what Brian Schottenheimer likes, and that's likely the mold that you're looking for those corners. So once free agency gets around, if you want to make a little checkbox or something on guys, those are probably the boxes that'll need to be checked.
Tommy, before we let you go, what does the offseason look like for Tommy Yarish? I know it's never really an offseason because you got draft and camps and everything else that's going on, but when do you get to take a little break for a little bit?
It'll be a while. It'll probably be after the draft process is over. I usually try to get on vacation in July, but up until then, we're going to be hammering away at the draft. We're going to be hammering away at free agency and trying to see if they can make a better team so that Mark can be happier when we have these phone calls every week.
Good luck with that, bro.
You don't want me sad, man.
No, of course not.
Be sad.
Good luck with that, man. We appreciate you as always. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk to you again next week, man. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you, Tommy.
There he is, Tommy Yarish of DallasCowboys.com. You know, it may be a dream job to cover the Cowboys, but it's also it's a gut-wrenching job, because if you're a Cowboys fan and you cover the team,
and you walk around there and everybody's sad,
and you gotta ask those questions too. So we'll see what ends up happening. But shout out to Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com. Going to H-Town coming up next. We're gonna talk to the playoff-bound Houston Texans voice, Mark Vandermeer, coming up next right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeart Radio app.
Craig Way knows everybody.
Visiting with Brad Chan, voice of the Cowboys, and all I'm thinking to myself is, Reggie Jackson, you got to do a better job of asking the question.
I think it was our friend Art Haynes to whom he said that.
Yeah, because that's when he followed about, you can take your microphone and your glasses.
You can take your microphone and your glasses, and then he proceeded to tell Art what he could do with all of those things, all of which were physically impossible, even with exaggerated surgery.
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
The music we listen to all year long.
The anthems that were our soundtrack for 2025.
And the stars who made the songs we love.
Will all be celebrated.
Let's get it started.
March 26th, live from Los Angeles, coming back to Fox.
Be here as our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Award nominees are announced. Thursday at 8 a.m.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
Rush hour speeds this morning along Mopac Southbound, where it's taking an extra 10 minutes driving from Howard Lane over to Far West Boulevard. Things are also slow on Loop 360 southbound from Spicewood Springs over to Bee Cave, and a 15-minute out-of-your drive on I-35 northbound from Highway 45 over to William Cannon Drive. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. The once-a-year sale and clearance is here. Upgrade today with Mattress Firm's quality selection of top brands. Let their sleep experts find the perfect bed to help transform your nights. They make sleep easy.
Hey, Texas sports fans, Mike Hardge here, and it's time for Texas men's and women's basketball. Thomas J. Henry Law is thrilled to be a part of the action with Texas basketball game broadcast, where the athletes give it their all on the court. Thomas J. Henry and over 250 attorneys give it their all when it comes to helping you and your family get the justice you deserve. Whether it's on the court or in the courtroom, dedication, strategy, and teamwork is crucial. For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry Law has been committed to securing meaningful results for injured people and their families. After all, their law firm would be nothing without the communities and the individuals they serve. Visit tjhlaw.com to find out more. If you or a loved one have been injured, their attorneys are available 24/7 to help you. They have a reputation and resources to handle any case. Free consultation with no fees collected unless they win. Let's get into Texas basketball action this season, sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law. On and off the court, it's all about the win. And remember to tell them Hardball Hard sent you.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The road to Milan runs through St. Louis. See Ilya Malinin, Alyssa Liu, and Amber Glenn compete at the 2026 Prevagen U.S. Figure Skating Championships, January 7th through 11th. Be there as the 2026 U.S. Olympic Figure Skating team is named live. Tickets at usfigureskating.org.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance. Scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that goes above and beyond to help you keep more of what matters. No hunting, no hassle, just confidence that your coverage customized with savings in mind. Start your quote at libertymutual.com.
The college football semifinals are this week. Trade on the games legally in Texas on Kalshi. Will Oregon upset Indiana? They're trading at 38% to win. That means $100 trade pays out $271 if they win. Make money trading on football, politics, culture, and more. If it matters, you can trade on it with Kalshi. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code IHEART to get $20 when you trade $100. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Join the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, each day from 2 to 5 p.m. for the Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Out to Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com. As soon as we got off the air with him, the news came out that the Cowboys fired Matt Eberflus. So tell me something that I don't know.
That answered all the questions.
That answered a lot of the questions that we might have had. But one of the questions that we do have is the Houston Texans continue to roll, and we have to go to H-Town and talk to our guy, Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans, as the Texans finish the season 12-5 and the winners of 9 straight games as they head into the playoffs to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, Monday Night Football. And Mark, I have to say, man, doesn't it feel good to not be playing on a Saturday at 12 noon to kick off the playoffs?
I'll tell you what, I would take that Saturday slot because that means you're at home usually, right? I like that they're on the road in this position. And if they're on the road in the Saturday early window, I wouldn't like that. But at home, I'd take that over anything because they're really good at home in the playoffs. They're 6-2 all time. They've never won a road playoff game. So that has to be eliminated Monday night at Pittsburgh against a team that, look, doesn't have a great record. It doesn't look like they're that hot. But you know what? It's the playoffs. They've got T.J. Watt. They've got Highsmith. They got Aaron Rodgers. They're going to be tough to beat.
They definitely have a lot of momentum going into this game after this game that we just saw. Do you think that Aaron will be able to push this team to, rise to the occasion like they did last week?
Well, they did rise to the occasion, but I don't think the Texans defense is going to have the kind of busts that both of these defenses had in this Sunday night game, right? The Ravens allowed that touchdown. Now, that was a slip, and then Rodgers found the open man. You saw how the Steelers, my gosh, Zay Flowers, they got guys wide acre open. I was shocked at some of the opportunities the Ravens had against the Steelers. And in a crucial game like that, and this is a great rivalry. That game had a lot of intensity. It was not perfect football, to say the least. With the 2 missed kicks late. But, man, what a thriller that was. And I was glad it was the Steelers. I'm just going to be honest. I did not want to see the Texans have to go to Baltimore with a re-energized Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Look at that game. Derrick Henry, it's like, he had an okay game. 126. He's one of those guys. We talked about him before. I did not want to have to deal with him again. I'm glad it's the Steelers. Not that it'll be easy, but I think it's a little bit of a better matchup of the Texans than the Ravens would have been.
How healthy is the Texans defense right now? We knew Stingley had a little ding and the rest of the team were kind of holding out guys to get healthy. How healthy are they right now?
I think they're fine. Lassiter did not play in the regular season finale. I think that was just because why play him if he's not 100%? I thought anybody, and we talked about this last week, anybody who was, really iffy, you don't want to play them because you don't want to get them worse, because the most important game is this week. So Lassiter didn't play. Stingley did. They started pulling guys when they saw the Jags get the big lead over the Titans. So they're healthy going into next week for what they are right now. You know, we talked about this before. They're losing guys on their defensive interior, but they found gold in Lecky Fotu, who was a Raider, and now he's part of their defensive tackle rotation, and he looks pretty good. You hope Naquan Jones can go because he got banged up in that Indy game on Sunday, but I think they're going to be fine on defense health-wise. If they lose, it's not because of injuries unless they lose guys during the game.
We're talking to the voice of the Houston Texans, which you can hear right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone, Mark Vandermeer. And Mark, you know, D'Amico talked about it in the postgame. He was scoreboard watching. He saw that the Jacksonville Jaguars were pulling away from their opponent, and he decided to start pulling guys to get them some extra rest. He also mentioned now that the game is on Monday, they can get their bodies back to where it needs to be. But looking at this team and where they are right now, they seem to have more balance. A lot of folks are still talking about this highest ranked defense in the NFL, but the offense looks to kind of be a little bit more balanced, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think CJ's been playing better as he's come back from the concussion. We talked about the 2 picks in the Charger game, but other than that, I think he's played really well for this squad, and he's getting more command at the offensive line, at the line of scrimmage, and with the offensive line, being able to change protections, things like that. I think it takes a while to master this offense, and especially in the red area where they've had the biggest problems. You know, we used to work with Bill O'Brien, and Bill O'Brien told us that Tom Brady told him, because he worked with Brady in New England, that the red zone was the hardest thing for him to master. It took him a long time to get good at the red zone. Well, and that makes sense because you're working with a new offensive coordinator. I like the way they've been running the ball. They got over 100 again, which is not, anything to lead Sports Center, but you want to get well over 100 yards as an NFL team. Like in that 120 range, you're going to feel really good about winning a game if you don't turn the ball over and you're playing halfway decent defense. And obviously you have to be good on third down. I think they're getting better in all those categories gradually. And we've talked about this. It's incremental, so it's not quantum leap stuff. They need to take a bit of a leap on Monday night. They have to play well in the cold. So we'll see how they do at Pittsburgh.
Well, you got a strong 2-headed monster at running back. What's the chances on Chubb coming back?
Chubb will come back. Chubb just didn't play because I think they wanted to save him, and he's a little older, and the whole season has been one gigantic return from injury for him. So I think they just wanted to get him as fresh as possible because you want playoff Chubb. You want him to be the kind of guy that you can – I'll go dated reference here. He's not exactly John Riggins. He's not exactly – how about Timmy Smith, one-hit wonder? He's got to be that kind of guy, though, for them that maybe in the fourth quarter could just eat yards, eat clock, and get you out of a game. But I think that Woody Marks can do that kind of stuff, too. He's been playing well. He had another good game, 48 yards on 10 carries. I liked it. Jawar Jordan got a little nicked up, so let's see how he comes back. But British Brooks, number 44, he was a revelation, moving the pile. They've got guys. They just have to find a way to put it all together, stay on the field on third down. That is a huge key in this one. Can you go 40% or better on third down so you avoid giving the ball back to the opponent too much?
This is a wild, wild time, but you got a chance to get into the dance, and that's what every team looks for, the opportunity to advance. The Texans had an unbelievable season thus far, but D'Amico's not resting on his laurels. He's ready to roll, and he's going to have that team ready to roll.
Yeah, he is not happy with the way they've been playing lately other than the Charger game. He just does not like some of the performances they've had, even though they had a lot of reserves in the game against the Colts. He hated giving up 30. Now they're the second leading scoring defense in the league. The Seahawks got them by 0.2 of a point because they held the Niners to 3 and the Texans allowed 30 with their reserves. And the Seahawks, they had to have it kind of game on Saturday. It is what it is. I still think it's the best defense in the league, and they got to go out and prove it. I like guys that they've won in cold weather this year because they beat Kansas City at Arrowhead when Kansas City was still going. They've won other big games on the road like the Chargers. I like that. And I like that they've been in the playoffs before in cold weather, and they've been in tough environments. They're ready for it. They just got to go out and do it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And again, Monday Night Football. I know you talked about the fact that they're not very good on the road. And the other half of it, the Steelers are probably one of the better primetime teams in the league, especially with Tomlin as the head coach.
I'm glad you worded it that way because everyone's talking about Mike Tomlin's Monday Night Football record, which is perfect, over 20 games. But this is not Monday Night Football. This is playoff football in prime time. So I'm glad you said it that way. This is not your garden variety Monday Night Football with the theme song and everything. We're in the playoffs now, and that's Tomlin's big problem, right? Winning in the postseason, hasn't done it in a decade. And I love Mike Tomlin, but not this week.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing, when Mark asked you about Aaron Rodgers being able to do it, you were like, I hope he does it another time, just not this week. As always, Mark, we appreciate you. Best of luck. And you can tune in right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone to catch the Texans and the Steelers next week, 7:15 kickoff. But you can hear it all right here.
All right, gentlemen, thanks a lot. Go Texans.
There he is, Mark Vandermeer, fired up and ready for the playoffs. When we come back, you know what time it is. World's Strongest Man brings you his World's Strongest Take right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you'll need.
First responders are on scene of a crash that blocks off two right lanes on 183 southbound before I-35, but should be in the clearing stages and out of the way pretty soon. On I-35 northbound, you're stop and go from Highway 45 over to William Cannon, causing a 15-minute slowdown. Things are also slow on Mopac southbound from Howard over to Far West. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not so wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super fast nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company. Pure Talk.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
It'll be partly cloudy today with a high in the mid-80s, back to the mid-50s tonight. Low 80s for a high tomorrow with a slight chance of rain.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart.
News has never been so important.
We've got breaking news from Capitol Hill.
And iHeart makes it so easy to stay in the know with 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
A major breakthrough in medical research.
Live around the clock, so you're never more than 3 minutes away from the stories that matter most.
Extreme weather is impacting millions.
24/7 news, right at your fingertips with the free iHeart app, where you can now make 24/7 news a preset for even quicker access. 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
Daphne Caruana Galizia was a Maltese investigative journalist and blogger who spent her life fighting for truth, justice, and decency in a country overrun by corruption. But on October 16, 2017, she was assassinated.
There are crooks everywhere you look now. The situation is desperate.
Malta is a tourist paradise, but underneath its extraordinary beauty, there are some dark, dark shadows. This is a place where dark power and dark money likes to hang out. And if you try and tell truth to that dark money and that dark power, if you're a journalist, it can be a very dangerous place indeed.
They were asleep in their own beds, and somebody piled rubber tires out the back of the house and set them alight.
These are 5 car bombs within the space of a year, and nothing was done about it.
I was shaking. It was a mixture of anger and fear.
From iHeart Podcasts, Topic Studios, and Vespucci, this is Crooks Everywhere. My name is Manuel Delia, former political operative turned journalist.
I'm John Sweeney, a former BBC journalist and investigative reporter. Together, we unravel the web of deception, exposing the dangerous forces at play in Malta.
Crooks Everywhere.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Our blood runs orange.
You hear him? WWE Hall of Famer and world's strongest man, Mark Henry, brings you his world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella.
All right. You know what time it is? It's time for the world's strongest take by the world's strongest man. That's back then they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. So, well, here we are again. Tried and true. There's always good times, but every now and then, Hardge, we got to go through the bad times. And the bad times right now, I have to point the finger at our basketball team, our men's basketball team. And I see the potential. I see the system that Coach Miller is running. Offensively, I don't think that these guys have a problem with the scoring other than the three-point shot. You have to shoot above 25%, guys. But the problem is the defense, is the accountability for going over the top of screens and staying in front of your man. I don't think that Texas, the current roster, are guys that are used to playing that style of defense. That's the number one problem, is they're not used to playing that style of defense. So it's harder for them. It's a lot of work. It's not natural. Well, Texas has recruited some guys that are puppy movers. They move their feet well. They go over the screens well. I watched a lot of clips yesterday of the guys that are coming in after the conversation that we had. And I watched the replay of the game that Texas just lost. The guys have to do a better job of moving their feet. That's my take, is if Texas men's basketball team can put an emphasis on going over the top of screens and really trying to put the feet in position to defend, they can fix some of the woes. Offensively, Sean's system is going to work. Defensively, they're not living up to it. What say you?
Well, the reality of the situation is defensively, this team, they foul. That's the problem. They foul. They can't guard without fouling.
Right. They're out of position.
And, you could talk about footwork. You could talk about all the things that are involved in getting yourself in a position. But the problem is this. If he's laid it out for you. And one of the biggest things that I always try to talk to my son and his team, and I'm not comparing the two, is understanding your responsibility and your role on this basketball team. What ends up happening is a lot of folks don't understand what they're being asked to do. And it goes back to our conversation of what we talked about earlier. Coaching does matter. And you have to have the people to understand that your job is to defend and get rebounds. Your job is to score. But like anything else, if the team has got their own agenda, it creates the problem. The biggest problem for them is they foul too much. He asked you, stop the ball with 10 seconds left. Make it tough for them to get it to 10 seconds during that time. That's what happens. And those are the things, and those are the moments that people are looking at. This team, they don't, and I said it at the very beginning of the year, it's like they're trying to not make mistakes instead of just playing basketball. Just play basketball. When you're out playing basketball, your athleticism takes over a lot of times. But you also have to be sound. You have to sit on defense. You have to lock up and understand, because Mark scores 20 and I score 22, Mark loses.
Right.
And that is it. You have to make sure that that guy that is across from you doesn't get a rebound, doesn't get a steal, doesn't get an assist, doesn't score. You have to give more effort on the defensive end than what they're giving.
So what you're saying is, when that ball is loose, you have to get it, not let them get it.
Exactly.
When the ball is up in the air, you have to put your back on somebody's front and put them out of position to get that rebound. The little things in basketball are really a big thing.
They're huge. The fundamentals of the game is what this game is made on. Yes, you can jump high, you can dunk, you can score, you can do all these different things but it's the guys that play the fundamental part of the game, the fundamental, making sure your stat line is full. It don't matter if you got 34 points and you got 1 assist. I mean, what is that? But are you getting 10 rebounds? Are you getting 5 assists? You getting steals? You getting deflections? You getting kills? You getting stops? Those are the things that Coach Miller is talking about. And when you watch this team, the effort on the defensive end, it seems like it's a struggle. Yeah. Like it's like they struggle on the defensive end.
Hardge, there's times where you're going to get beat.
Of course.
And I see the Texas guys get beat, and you're beat. You're beat. Let him make that layup.
Or
don't foul him.
Or get help.
If the other guy on your team comes and helps out, then you go get his man and try to box him away from the basket in case it's a miss.
It's not the same.
They are not doing this.
It is not the same, but I watched the Texas women play the other day. And I've seen them all year long, so I'm not going to just say the other day. But when you watch the Texas women play, that's what Vic Schaefer prides himself on. He said, I will guard you from the airport till you get back to the airport to leave. That's what Sean Miller is asking for, because people are frustrated because they don't see that toughness. Effort. And I'm not questioning how tough a guy is bravado wise. It's tough on the basketball court where every inch is worth something. Every rebound is worth something. Every shot contested is worth something. That's where I think Sean Miller is right now with this basketball team.
I haven't given up on him. I just want to see improvement. I want to see him do what you and I are talking about. This is, I know they hear it every day.
But that's the thing that I'm talking about. Sean Miller is exhausted. That's what he was talking about yesterday. If I tell you not to go across the street, you don't go across the street. It's effort. And there's some levels to this effort. And we'll talk about it in just a minute because we're going to continue this conversation because Texas men's basketball takes on Tennessee and Coach Rick Barnes. That's right. Coach Rick Barnes hosts the Texas Longhorns tonight. And we'll tell you all about it and send you to Dan Patrick right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and always free on the iHeartRadio app.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
We're Madison Square Garden. Well, Dick Vitale would come in. Craig, it's good to see you. How are you? It's awesome with a capital A. I think Rick Barnes has an outstanding team. I said, Dick, I appreciate the time. Thanks very much. Rick, it's great to see you. I hear Dan Schulman, who's doing the play-by-play, goes, you realize you just called Craig Rick? He goes, Craig, wait, you got to let me straighten it out. You got to give me another chance. Let me fix it.
Hang out with Craig on AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Brown Experience on the free iHeartRadio app or at BamaBrownPodcast.com.
First responders are on scene of a crash that blocks off 2 right lanes on 183 southbound before I-35, but should be in the clearing stages and out of the way pretty soon. On I-35 northbound, you're stop and go from Highway 45 over to William Cannon, causing a 15-minute slowdown. Things are also slow on Mopac southbound from Howard over to Far West. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Running for office means having something important to say. Radio is the most personal medium out there. Voters hear the real you, exactly the way you want to be heard. No filters, no AI, just your voice, your message. And it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign. Connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Be on the air in just 48 hours. Visit winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
There was a murder in central Ohio that many people still don't want to talk about. The man who committed that crime once sat on death row, but now he's on the run. His name is Lester Eubanks. Lester didn't tunnel out of prison or scale a stone wall. On a December morning in 1973, he and a small group of inmates were granted permission to walk outside prison walls. His handcuffs were taken off. He changed into civilian clothing, and he and 3 others were driven to a local mall. They were told they could wander the stores and were asked to return to a designated meeting spot. Hours later, all the inmates came back, except Lester Eubanks, and he hasn't been seen since.
He had a full plan. The guy had a plan.
I was just astounded that this could actually happen.
There were many years when it seemed like no one was even looking for Lester. But recently, his whereabouts have become the focus of the U.S. Marshal Service, the federal agents who track fugitives. The case is testing the marshals.
Those 9 lives are running out, and we're going to catch up with Lester.
and is being urged on by those hurt most by Lester's crime.
He's had enough free time. He confessed to the crime, and his time is up.
I'm Sunny Hostin with ABC News. Over the past year, a team from the ABC News investigative unit joined the search for Lester Eubanks. They uncovered new leads, possible sightings, and at every turn found resistance from those who want Lester Eubanks to be forgotten. What they've uncovered is a case that's about more than murder. It's about family loyalty, a life on the run, and a first-hand look at how the U.S. Marshals are trying to solve one of the oldest fugitive cases in American history. Now they may be closer than ever. From ABC News.
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
How many of you have seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
We all use AI, but here, it never pretends it's real. AM 1300 The Zone. Guaranteed human.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We had a busy day. Started off with Black Monday, where all the coaching firings happened. We also heard from Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, and he talked about listening to the fans and what was happening. We also talked about Ole Miss and what's going on with them. Trinidad Chamberlain and Juwan Lacey will all be back at Ole Miss, who come to Texas, to Austin, Texas, on October the 24th to take on the Texas Longhorns. Playoff game against Miami.
You think they'll be playing against their former teammate? You think Texas is going to, be able to get lucky and pull in Cam?
Oh, he's at Auburn, not Ole Miss.
Okay.
Yeah. So Montana State wins the FCS championship in incredible fashion. We also talked to Joe Cook of Inside Texas. We got to hear a game winner by Kevin Durant and Snoop Dogg. Also, you get to hear from Tommy Yarish of DallasCowboys.com. And breaking news, Matt Eberflus has been relieved of his duties for the Dallas Cowboys as the defensive coordinator.
Oh, happy day.
Hallelujah.
Oh, happy day.
And we had a chance to talk to Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans, as the Texans move into, where? Playoffs against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. I want you to hear from Sean Miller after the Mississippi State game, because Mark brought this up just a little bit ago about Sean Miller, the team, and where the effort lies in this. And one of the biggest things that they're having trouble with is the 4 position, which is the power forward position. There's been some very inconsistent moves that are being made there. And tonight they'll be challenged. But I want you to hear, after that loss to Mississippi State in overtime, mind you, that Sean Miller, again, told you don't walk across the street because you might get hit by a bus. Well, now he's talking to you about, I need more effort out of that position.
We're really struggling at the 4 position. It is what it is. It's big time college basketball. We're getting nothing. And we have to get more. We have to make some changes. It's tough to play 4 on 5. Just is. We get nothing from that position really tonight. And I thought that hurt us as well.
We are playing 4 on 5 because we're getting nothing. And again, it goes back to
would hurt
effort.
me.
It's effort. That's it. You got to go to work. And that's the one thing that you can control is effort. And the fact that the effort has been a struggle for so many on this squad, that's the frustrating part when you look at what's going on with this basketball team.
I would just turn into a foul. I would foul out. I would give as much effort as I could to try to block shots, help out the defense, dive for loose balls, like do everything I can do.
Well, I'm going to take you out of the foul out part. I'm going to help you with that because you fouling out is not helping us. It's not.
No, I'm saying as if I was one of those guys, right? One of those fours right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That are hearing their coach publicly go on radio and television and say, we're playing 4-on-5 because our power forwards are not doing their job.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose it. Okay, that's what we're doing. I'm not going to fuss. I'm not going to fight the coach. I'm going to go out on the floor and bro, somebody's going to get it.
But has the issue been they've been fouling without having good defense?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. They're not putting the effort.
Yeah, but fouling, they are still fouling. That's the worst part. If you're still fouling and you're not playing good defense, I don't know what to say. It's like
I think there'll be less fouls, Marcus, if they turn the effort up. There will be less fouls.
Do you think like that? Do you think it's a lazy thing or defensively if you're fouling, but you still not playing good defense? Is it more of a you laying off guys too much and then you end up reaching because you're putting yourself in bad situations?
You don't want to get beat, and that's the thing that needs to happen. They need to stop worrying about the optics and handle the man-to-man, the day-to-day grind. Over the screen, anytime you go over the screen, the guy's going to have an advantage on you getting to the basket. Go cut him off. Sprint to the goal to be able to get in front and turn your feet toward him. They're not doing that.
Well, you got to also your
hustle.
Your backside has to hedge that screen too.
Yeah, you got to have help.
You got to help on that because you can fight through that and try to get there. If they set a good screen, you're not getting there. So the opposite guy's got to make sure that he is hedging to make sure that he slows down so you can get back in there. And when you're switching, you have to switch effectively and hard as well.
There you go.
So those are the things that when you look at this team, it's just like, okay, I got screened. Now you get the ball. Okay, now let's get the ball and go back up the court. It's not that. It has to be an effort on the defensive side because that, to me, that is all coach has talked about. He's not worried about Texas scoring. The only thing he has ever been upset about has been strictly about the defense.
Yeah.
And if they're not playing good defense, he don't care how many points you score. He's still going to harp on that defense.
Both of y'all know I can't stand Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you something. There is nobody in the NBA that hustles harder and works harder to get position than Draymond Green. He is always going to beat you to the spot. And if you beat him to the spot, he's going to push you out of it.
Why do you think that is?
Because of aggressiveness and want to.
He knows his role.
And he knows that he is not the scorer. He is not the facilitator. He is not the shooter. I got to do everything else.
That's what got him now.
And where is that guy for Texas?
Right.
Who's going to be?
That's what coach is asking for. That's what he's asking for. That sentiment of what you said about Draymond Green is the question that Coach Sean Miller is asking his 4s, 5s, and everybody else around there. What is your role to this team, and how are you not excelling at it? Because I've laid it out for you. Excel at your
Come on, guys.
What did you say about James Thomas the other day? He knew his role. He knew his role.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to get boards. I'm going to kick it out, and I'm going to dunk on somebody. And I'm going to block shots. Be an intimidator. I want to thank all our guests today. Joe Cook of Inside Texas, Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com, and the voice of the Houston Texans, Mark Vandermeer. Make sure you're locked in all day long as the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, will be on the call today, but he also, well, it might be Jake Herman today. covering for them because they are in Knoxville. Make sure you tune in to the Longhorn game right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. And just remember this, don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue,